Intel are giving us up to 24 cores and 32 threads in gaming laptops this year with their new 13th gen processors. Here's everything you need to know. Just like last year, 13th gen laptop CPUs will come in U, P, H, and HX options, with H and HX being what we'll see in most gaming laptops. Let's get straight into the specs of these new chips, starting at the top of the lineup with HX. All three of the i9-HX processors double the amount of E-cores from 8 last year to 16 this year, and this is how we're able to get 24 cores and 32 threads. The top-end Core i9-13980HX boosts up to 5.6 GHz, which is 600 MHz higher compared to last year's maximum 5.0 GHz seen with 12th gen i9 laptop chips. We're also looking at more cache too, with 36 MB compared to 30 MB last gen. The i7-HX processors have fewer P or E cores, less cache, and are clocked lower as we go down the list. And a similar deal with the i5 range. The i9 and highest i7-13850HX support DDR5 5600 memory this generation, faster than last year's DDR5 4800, though the lower tier chips still max out at 4800, at least without overclocking. According to Intel, in this one specific test, 13th gen is able to offer an 11% boost to single-thread performance when compared to the best i9s available last gen. There's also a nice increase to multi-core performance, which is expected due to the additional 8 E-cores that are on offer with the higher 13th gen HX options. Other rendering workloads like Blender, which max out all cores, were doing a fair bit better with the extra cores available from 13th gen HX, while other content creator workloads had a smaller increase, but still a gain. Here's what Intel is claiming in terms of FPS boost in games with 13th gen. The comparison against AMD isn't really fair because the Alienware M17 they're testing with has RTX 3080 Ti graphics at 155 watts, while the Intel 12th gen and 13th gen CPU laptops run the same GPU up to 175 watts. Anyway, it depends on the game, but even in these CPU heavy titles, 13th gen doesn't appear to offer that big of an uplift compared to 12th gen. Honestly, you'll be getting a bigger increase this year from Nvidia's new RTX 40 series GPUs. Make sure you're subscribed for my upcoming videos on those. Something I found interesting is that there will be 60 plus laptops with these higher tier HX chips this year. This means there should be more budget-friendly options compared to last year, where HX was only featured in the best of the best laptops. Going from 5 HX CPU options last year to 9 this year should certainly help with that. Based on what we saw in my 12900H versus 12900HX comparison last year, the top tier HX chips are really only for people that need crazy levels of multi-core performance in a portable machine. Because purely for gaming, let's be real, going above the 14 cores, 20 threads available to H series is kind of overkill. The higher single core boosts with HX will help a bit, but nowhere near as much compared to instead putting the budget towards a GPU upgrade. Intel's 13th gen HX platform also gives us some other interesting platform changes, along with support for faster DDR5 5600 memory. Discrete graphics are now able to use up to 16 lanes of PCIe Gen 5. We only saw 12th gen HX using Gen 5 for storage in MSI's Titan GT77. Honestly, this probably won't matter too much. Gen 4 wasn't exactly slow, but then again, maybe the next gen GPUs coming this year could see a benefit from Gen 5. HX is also completely unlocked for overclocking too. It's not all about the top-end HX series. Here's how Intel's 13th gen H series lineup is looking. Just like last year, H series maxes out with 6P and 8 E-cores. So 14 core and 20 thread laptop processors with 13th gen, the same limit as 12th gen H series last year. That said, 13th gen H series increases the memory speed up to DDR5 5200 from 4800. Not quite as high as the DDR5 5600 the top-end HX chip support, but still an improvement. Discrete graphics also gets up to 8 lanes of PCIe Gen 5, so half as much as what HX can support, but again, still an improvement compared to last gen, which I believe maxed out at PCIe Gen 4 for Nvidia discrete GPUs with 8 lanes. Clock speeds also see an increase this year. The Core i7-13700H has a 5 GHz P-core turbo boost speed, 300 MHz higher compared to the 4.7 GHz available to the 12700H before it, while the higher tier Core i9-13900HK is 400 MHz faster compared to the 12900HK. Cache sizes remain the same though. Intel didn't provide as many benchmarks for H series, which if I had to guess means the gains aren't as interesting. But make sure you're subscribed for my upcoming comparisons. They just used Crossmark, which I haven't personally found to be that useful. Anyway, in these different areas, Intel is claiming a 10% uplift compared to last year's 12th gen. It doesn't really matter that they're not comparing the new 13900HK with a 12900HK, because the 12900H has the same amount of cores, threads, clock speed, and cache as HK. The main difference is that H can't be overclocked, so hopefully the 13900HK in the MSI Stealth 17 they're using in this example isn't overclocked. Despite Intel recently teasing next-gen Thunderbolt with speeds of up to 120 gigabits per second, 13th gen laptop CPUs still support Thunderbolt 4 with 40 gigabits of speed. However, the new CPUs add in support for DisplayPort 2.1 and USB 3.2 20 gigabit per second. The integrated graphics within the processor will also support Intel's XeSS upscaling, which is basically their version of Nvidia's DLSS to boost performance in games. Intel said 13th gen will have the best support, but 11th and 12th gen will get support in future updates. Ultimately, this doesn't matter that much for gaming laptops, as they have more powerful discrete graphics, but this could be a nice way to boost FPS in smaller laptops that only have integrated graphics. I'd assume it's also available with laptops that use Arc graphics for the DGPU, but this update was specific to the iGPU. Intel also has this new feature called Endurance Gaming to make the battery last longer when gaming on the integrated graphics. Long story short, by default, this limits FPS in games to 30 to save battery, so the same sort of thing others like Nvidia have had for years. Some Intel laptops might also ship with a VPU, which is basically dedicated hardware for accelerating AI work so that the CPU and GPU don't have to work as hard. I'm interested if any games in future might be able to take advantage of it, or perhaps other applications that you might run in the background while gaming. This early generation is a separate SoC that connects via PCIe for early adopters and developers, but the way it was presented made it sound like one day it might find itself built into the processor directly. Otherwise, Intel also provided the specs for their lower tier P and U series processors, which will be found in thinner and lighter designs. Probably not so much in gaming laptops though. As for availability of gaming laptops featuring these new 13th gen processors, we're probably going to be waiting until around mid-February, at least for gaming laptops that are also paired with new GPUs. Technically, I think the CPUs themselves will be available from January, so we might see some laptops initially with Intel 13th gen CPUs, but last gen GPUs like Nvidia RTX 30 series. But I would expect most new gaming laptops to hold off until Nvidia's RTX 40 series. Find out more about all of the gaming laptops coming out in 2023 over here. I'll see you in one of those videos next.